One.
Good afternoon, Orange County, Orlando, Florida, and everybody in between. Listen, the Tailgate interview continues. Today is the last day. I like to say this will be a powerful, packed day of individuals that are driven, that are dedicated, that I am encouraged and honored to present to you. So before we get off, let's give our sponsor, Southern Style Barbecue, their credits for making this possible, for behind the scenes, not only recording, but editing and getting this information out to you all in rapid speed. Okay, y'all looking for some great barbecue? Check out Southern Style Barbecue on the corner of Lee and Edgewater, 4890 Edgewater Drive. Now I'm gonna turn this interview over to my beautiful guest. Okay, isn't she gorgeous? Okay, Miss Beryl Thompson-McClary. Welcome to IBA Success Platform. Listen, so it's an honor to sit and talk with you and to realize I am the only person you've done a one-on-one with throughout this campaign.
Yes, you are.
That means I'm special, y'all, okay? Follow IBA Success Magazine for more information. So I have researched a little bit about you. I like to start with something very simple. For people meeting you for the very first time, who is Beryl? Not the attorney, not the candidate, just who are you?
Well, who am I? Well, I am a woman that grew up in Leesburg, Florida.
Okay.
I have a total of 7 children. I had 5 children, believe it or not, in 6.5 years. My first child at 36. Now, why do I tell you that? Because I deserve a cake.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And my last 2 were twins.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that. With that, I'm a runner. I got into my first beauty pageant, you want to call it. It really was a senior pageant, so the only qualification was to be over 60. That was me. I didn't know it applied to me.
Okay.
And I like to do things different every year. I set goals out. So what can I do differently outside of the box, as you said, of being an attorney, because you get so stiff.
Yeah.
I did my first half marathon, 13.1 miles at 13.2 at age 60. I'm a runner.
Wow.
So I enjoy adventure and I enjoy people, and I was a missionary, actually a missionary in different countries for many years.
I'm still stuck on running at 60. Marathons. Okay, that means you are trained up and you know how to take a challenge on. So you practiced law in this community for decades. Yet some voters have said, hey, where did she come from? What would be your response to that?
My response would be that for a season, I did take a break from heavy litigation.
Okay.
When I was younger, I did a lot of litigation. I can't understand you all. I'm so close to 70. Really? All my friends are retired.
Wow.
But I actually represented my husband and a number of people. My husband is founder of the Commodores, and we travel around the world, and I did more international and federal law versus your day-to-day state law.
Okay.
And that's why you haven't seen me, but I still practice.
But you are here now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Why public office now after more than 3 decades of practicing law? Was there something specific that made you say, I need to run for this seat?
Absolutely. And to get it clear, I wanted to run in 2011, and I withdrew. Why? Because I had so many children.
Okay.
And now they're all young adults and doing quite well. To answer the question more specifically, what inspired me? I live in District 7. And after we slowed down, I was looking at the deterioration of the area from John Young Parkway up into Apopka Island Road near Sam's. I said, so what happens here? Those who have county contracts regarding picking up trash and beautification, does it just stop at John Young Parkway? And it appeared that the area between those areas, those 2 roads, had become a depository for whatever Main downtown did not want, and any other area where it was an increase in homelessness, an increase in trash, an increase in deterioration. I, as a constituent, just as a resident of District 7, decided I would go and voice my concern. Just went down there. I talked to one person because if you remember, District 7 is a combination of part of 2 and part of 6. So I'll explain it to you. If you were on the north side of Silver Star Road, you were in District 2. If you were on the south side of Silver Star Road, you were in District 6. And I'll tell you why that's very important. Because you had two different commissioners with two different priorities. So nothing was done for certain areas.
Okay.
They were neglected, and that's what I saw neglected. So I went up there and I talked to the commissioner, expressed what I told you, and I wasn't given a satisfactory answer, particularly being in business. We have other businesses as well. Usually you'll say, let me contact this person who's in charge, blah, blah, blah. Such did not happen. So then I went to my commissioner, District 2. And the administrative assistant, polite, she reached down into her file cabinet, pulled out a volunteer form, and told me I could join the volunteers in the area and pick up my own trash.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I felt like you, I didn't say anything, and I went out, and my thought was, would that have been the response to someone from College Park or Maitland?
Mm-hmm.
Was that just a response for someone from District 7? Okay. With that, I knew that the issue was not just neglect. As a woman of evidence, it was an issue of respect.
Yes.
If you have no respect for the area,
Mm-hmm.
you have no respect for the people.
Wow.
And they're not a
Mhm.
priority,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what the evidence said.
Wow.
And that inspired me that it was time for a change.
Mm-hmm.
And there was time to be a voice, because I am a trial lawyer.
Okay.
And it is because to hear the voice of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And if there wasn't a change, the area would be even more deteriorated.
Yes.
And I decided I would be the one, because I live here.
Yes. Did you go out and pick up the trash? Did you organize?
No,
Or
I didn't do
what was
anything,
it?
because
Okay.
they've got contracts.
Okay.
And they do have people, they have contracts. So as big as the area is, how much trash picking are we gonna do?
Right.
So why do we have these contracts for people to do this? We're talking about enforcement.
Yes.
So why aren't the ordinances, why aren't the jobs being enforced?
Mm-hmm.
Are other areas picking up their trash all over?
Right.
Of course not. So why would that be a choice
Mm-hmm.
for District 7?
Right.
Versus the people that have the contracts, the people that are assigned to the work, why can they not do their jobs?
Yes. So it's really about holding people accountability.
Accountability.
So you've tried hundreds of cases and you've spent your career advocating for clients.
Yes.
How does that translate into managing county budgets, land use decisions, transportation, infrastructure?
That's a very good question. How does that translate? One, advocacy skills and preparation is necessary for whatever you do.
Yes.
I also, in the types of clients I've had, there's vary. I have been involved with rezoning. Either my properties or someone else's properties. It may have been in Lake County, but the rezoning process and the process that it goes through is something I am familiar with.
Okay.
Secondly, you need to, when you say, well, I'm at the table, well, you can be at the table and not eat anything.
Amen.
Okay?
Yes.
You can say, I'm at the table, and,
Mm-hmm.
but because of my skill set, I understand mediation.
Okay.
I understand and engage in collaboration. You have to do this when you are, when you have cases in which there are other parties, and we understand that in some of our civil cases, which I do a lot of civil cases, to be anything other than criminal, that there's not always a win-win, but we try to find something that each person can live with when they walk out. Why is that necessary? Because you're dealing with 8 commissioners.
Yes.
And 8 commissioners, when it takes place, will have all of their residents, and they will have their agendas. So how can we work together that we can each get something at some time that is good for our constituents?
Yes.
And that's what I bring to the table, is a diversity of skills that I have had to utilize over 40 years.
Yes, so I'm sure, preparing for this race has been a little bit of work. What is something you've learned while preparing to run for this office that surprised you about Orange County government? Any surprises along the way?
About Orange County government. The government and its processes did not surprise me. Perhaps the interviews with the various persons to get endorsements and their specialized interests
Okay.
was very interesting process, because you have to prepare for all.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that no one is asking you those questions for your help.
Okay.
Okay, and seeing it from their perspective as they're seeking to determine who shall I endorse. That was the most interesting process there.
Okay.
Yes.
If you are handed the county budget today and told you need to identify 3 areas where you're either wasting money or not investing enough, where would you start?
Where would I start? Right offhand, when I saw that there was a problem with the services,
Okay.
believe it or not, the first thing I did was go and look up the budget.
Okay. Wow.
Because we're business people,
Mm-hmm.
and as business persons, we must look at where is the money assessed, what is coming out, what are the priorities, and then after the priorities, what was actually achieved, so you can make changes. That's the first thing I did.
Okay.
For me, I've been studying more about the tourist tax and how that was used.
Okay.
Understanding there are restricted funds because of what people have been asking about. The funds that they distribute or make a determination should be distributed for infrastructure, and that would be for roads. It's interesting you said that you dealt with the issue of flooding. I don't know how that came about.
Yes.
I would look at it and say, where has the money gone in the past? And I say, in the recent past, in this distribution, in preventing flooding and increasing infrastructure. Has one area been getting more money than the others? And we have to look at that some areas are in municipalities and have their own commission, their own commissioners. Now they do pay more taxes. That would be like here, we're in the city of Orlando.
Yes.
They have a city commissioner, and you would have a county commissioner. How are those funds? We have Maitland, that is its own municipality with its own commissioners. I think it's the third one, with that. Eatonville has its own commissioners with that, looking at their budgets and how we work together and how those funds were working and how we supplement that to get infrastructure done for our residents. They shouldn't have flooding in their homes or flooding on the streets. I remember there was a flash flood from Mercy Drive up into downtown that lasted, it came all the way up to the corridors. That's because there's too much traffic on these old systems. And I'm going to look and say, where are you putting the money in what areas? Which area is a priority?
I like how you say that, because District 7 is made up of College Park, Maitland, and things like Pine Hills, Lockhart, Orlando. All of these communities face different challenges.
Absolutely.
How do you represent communities with dramatically different needs?
I think you take it I've thought about this and work with it. You take it one issue at a time.
Okay.
And we must also look at the common issues that face each community.
Yes.
Each community wants safety.
Yes.
Now, it might be defined a different way, but every resident wants to walk out and feel safe in their neighborhood. It's not that you want to just feel safe in Maitland or College Park.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be safe if you're in Pine Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that I will first address. Where do we have a commonality? Infrastructure. Flooding is an issue all over because we are a state of lakes.
Yes.
We have lakes all over. So with that, let's look at the common features and deal with those with the commonalities. Then we'll deal with those issues that are separate and independent from our more prosperous areas that need to be addressed. And the residents, I would listen to the residents as to say, this is what we have. These are the monies that have been allotted. What is your priority? Mm-hmm. See, I'm looking at priorities based on what I've seen on the record that I went and reviewed.
Yes.
But now I want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
What's most important to you?
I see that you are a researcher, and I see that you are really paying attention to the specific needs of the district. Is there one particular infrastructure project in District 7 that you feel like, hey, this is taking way too long, and you would like to do something to move it along?
Actually, it is for Orla Vista.
Okay.
Several years ago, they had a major flooding. And they were given some monies from the federal government under the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
They have not had relief yet.
Okay.
I want to find out what happened to those funds and why hasn't Orla Vista been made whole with the funds that were assigned to them. For 5 years, there was a study done, I was told.
Mm-hmm.
you don't need any more studies when it was clear how much destruction there was. Why hasn't there been completion? That's one of the first things, because I'm legal, to find out legally what happened, why wasn't it finished?
Okay.
And not only that, not why wasn't it finished, let's finish it.
Yes.
Let's give them what the federal government gave to them.
Yes.
All right, so we'll look at that.
I noticed that housing and affordability has been one of your number one issues, and you've talked about that.
Yes.
Everyone running says we need affordable housing. I've heard that throughout this whole campaign, we need affordable housing. Tell me something that you would actually vote yes to on that might be politically uncomfortable, but will be meaningful increased housing supply.
Well, some of that would be allowing the developers to expedite the permitting process.
Okay.
All right, they're saying that part of the reason that Live Local was originated was to circumvent the slowness of the system. But let me put a caveat on that. It is true, and I was passing out flyers, and I did meet a developer who said that was a real problem, and he's absolutely correct with that, and the fees that are involved. But we have to remember that if there are rules and regulations that were developed, it was because there was a problem.
Okay.
And I think we need to look at how those problems been resolved, and if we expedite the matter, will we create new problems on our residents, or those that presently are living? And that's what we have to, will it create new problems, and what will those problems be?
Yes.
One of the main issues that I have with what has been happening, I wanted to find out, did anybody have any foresight to make a determination as to what be the long-term effects of these decisions? What will it look like after that?
Yeah.
And although I'm for affordable and attainable housing, I have been looking at what other economic opportunities can we present in our neighborhoods. Because no matter what we say, affordable and attainable, if you don't have enough income, you can't afford affordable nor attainable, because it's still not attainable to you. Then lastly, in the negotiations in bringing these developers and making them responsible for the growth, I want to find out from them, and I don't know the processing, so forgive me, how do we keep the rent down without it escalating to a price that they can afford 5 years from now? And that's something I would have to investigate that I don't know the answer to. But that is a concern about the escalating prices if I've got myself settled in 3, 4, 5 years, and our income is not reflective of that kind of increase.
You know, that really draws me right into my next question, because developers often say impact fees make housing more expensive. Residents say developers should pay for the growth. You say growth should pay for fair share.
Absolutely.
Where do we draw the line?
Well, it depends on what do you mean, as to the resident's interest versus the developer interest. I think in making it, I would have to look at the numbers.
Okay.
Because a developer, in my mind, rightly or incorrectly, is not doing this for not-for-profit, and he's getting certain perks for doing this.
Okay.
We need to find a way where we can enter into a compromise where each party, and that would be the residents and the developer, are able to benefit from this situation. I would have to look at the contract.
Okay. Campaign money matters because people want to know who will have access to their commissioner. Is it financially backing, who is financially backing this campaign? Is there a donor whose business could ever cause you to recuse yourself from a county decision?
Oh, who's backing me? Me.
Okay. You know, I see that more so in a lot of campaigns.
My husband.
Okay.
So we don't have any backers there. I am independent, running in a nonpartisan race.
Okay.
And we have some small donations from family and friends.
Okay.
But the bulk of it, we are supporting it ourselves. So we are unbought.
Okay. So there's no person, developer, lobbyist that has come to you that you've said, hey, you know what, I'm not going to take their money? Have you been put in that position?
I have not been put in that predicament. I'm like,
okay.
I wonder why.
Wanted to say no to someone. This is a very busy, I would say, I'm not crowded. There's a lot of candidates on this ballot. I don't want to talk about what's wrong with any of them. I want to know why you believe you're the best candidate.
Well, that's easy. I know more about me than anybody else.
Yes.
One is that I am a resident, so I see the issues.
Okay.
And I see the issues that have not been resolved.
Okay.
And some of the issues that have been there for years. Secondly, because of my training, I feel like I have the skill set to meet the job description.
Okay.
I'm always asking people, have you looked at the job description of a county commissioner?
Yes.
Looking at budgets and their priorities, understanding revenue, capital spending, reserves, impact fees, grants, and long-term costs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just listening, but forming a system in informing our constituents. Coalition building, all right, on those major projects, forming relationship with other commissioners, working with the mayor and the county staff, working with those with building partnerships and municipalities and businesses. So it requires a variety of skills in which I am familiar with, not only, as I said, not only being an attorney, but as a business owner. Those are skills that we had to develop, and internationally I had to develop as far as getting work or moving through our staff from one country to the other. You have to know how to move business.
Yes.
And as I tell someone, and I've learned, always leave a place better than when you got there.
So if I was to interview you 4 years from now,
Yes.
what would be some of the things that you would say, I fixed this, I contributed, or my team and I, because I realize that just being a business owner, we can't do it alone. We have to have a good team. So what would be some of those first things that you would say, you know what, we fixed that?
That's a pretty big question. And without knowing all of the items that have been left undone, which would be the first thing I would do, was look at what was on the table to be done and what hasn't been completed.
Okay, that makes great sense.
All right, so I don't like making large promises that are not based on anything.
Yes.
I'm one of those people who always says, what are the facts?
Yes.
And we can't leave those things that are undone hanging out there for a new project. I was president of an organization and part of the executive board, and they taught me about order and recognizing that. We have people that make big promises, but no, what do the rules say? Can't help but the rules say, the policies, because we are, no matter what, I am bound by those rules and policies, and I'm bound by the past in order to determine what I can do in the future.
Yeah.
So let's make it clear, in this position right now, it's only 2 years.
Okay.
The first 2 years. And with that, the budget for 26-27 is being determined by the current commissioners.
Okay.
So I only have 1 year. That's all I have. How much of a difference can I make in 1 year?
Right.
But I can bring order to it, and those things that I can complete, I certainly will. But I've only got 1 year.
Yes.
Now we talk about the next 4 years. Once we get from under the handcuffs of the past.
Okay.
And that will be a fair question for you to ask me then, because I would have more latitude in determining what I feel like the agenda should be for District 7, based on what they've left, based on where we want to go, and most importantly, what the constituents want.
Yes. So this is the first time you've done a one-on-one.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there something that you wish someone would have already asked you during this campaign that would have allowed you to speak on a topic that you're passionate about?
It's a very interesting question, because there was. I am very passionate about our youth.
Okay.
And I'm also very passionate about, when I say our youth, I mean people in their 20s. I'm passionate about developing a community where our young people will want to return. I want to see the area revitalized and restored, but in a realistic manner that they can be proud of. There's no reason why Pine Hill should not be pretty anymore. There's no reason why the same beautification that they have in other areas we don't have here anymore. We're in such a prime area. I was talking to someone from the OEPs, or Orlando Economic Project, I said, this area is close to Universal, it's close to the East-West Expressway, and I-4. It does not make sense to me why we don't have more economic opportunities, which will also bring in better housing with better jobs. What can we develop other than Frito-Lay, which is gone now? What else can we develop in this area that we can develop those skills, and people and young people won't feel the need to leave in light of today's economy, in light of today's skill set? And I'm big on the AI skill set and all the things that are being done. We're not talking about data processing centers. There's so many other variables. We have it here in Orlando, in the center of Orlando. Why isn't our area considered for these more up-level economic opportunities and working with the young people that we have to, without, as much as we can, displacing or affecting the residents that are already here? Yes. But we understand that we need more money. We understand we need more opportunity. And I want to see us open up the opportunities in District 7 as they've been opened up in other areas of town, and as well as the corridor. I feel like there should be greater and better transportation on Kirkman Road. There's no reason why we shouldn't have more and frequent bus transportation to the various places that have greater employment. Everyone should have that opportunity. Those are the things that I would like to see developed, and not people always focusing on what's unpleasant there. I said, no, there's so much beauty there.
Yes.
There's so many beautiful things, so many beautiful people. Can we focus on that and go forward? And that's what I want to do. Show the beauty, show the economic opportunity, and I want you to say, hey, I want to go back home, just like they do in College Park, where they go and they have legacy. Oh, I went back home.
Yes.
And let them have some pride on going back home.
Yes. I absolutely love how you have thought so eloquently and planned for your next journey in District 7. If you just looked right at the camera and you know, someone's watching this is their first time getting to hear from you, getting to see you, and they haven't quite decided who they're voting for, what are you telling them?
Well, I'm telling them that I'm the right person for this season.
Okay. And why?
Because of all the things I've set for. Because I'm able to advocate from the beginning. I'm able to read the legislation and the policies. I'm able to sit at the table because I have sat at the table of $1 million deals. I do understand also too, I'm a woman of no compromise. That is, I have no compromise. I'm a woman of integrity. I can read, write, and understand, sit at that table and know what you're talking about. So with that being said, with all of my experiences in not only business and in the law, and why do we keep saying that? Because much of the job description is about legislation, it's about executive decisions, it's about policies. This is what I've done in the various jobs that I've had over the years. From criminal defense to legal services to, I've done it all, from domestic violence to, of course, different civil litigation around the world is something that I do. So with that, understanding my skill set that is actual, not something that happened 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or I work for somebody.
Yes.
I am the person where it comes through me. I am the person with the actual experience right now, yesterday, last month, is current. And with that being said, I am the right person at the right season for this right moment to make changes in District 7.
Wow. Listen, if you are just tuning in, please make sure you go and look at this interview from the very beginning. Tag your friends in District 7. Share this live, where can they go to read and see more about you?
Well, you can go to my website, BerylThompson-McClary.com. Of course, I make my statements there in the Orlando Sentinel, also the League of Women Voters, where they ask us a number of questions and I answer. And you can always send me an email. I have people who email me questions as to my position, and I do immediately respond.
That is awesome, because being accessible in the community is one of the things that I hear most residents say. Will you still be there once you're in the seat?
Well, one thing about it, tell them we will have aides and assistants to help us with accessibility,
yes.
Because I still have to read the policy.
Yes.
And I still have to read the contracts and the budgets. And I have to have a level of competency and education. But we understand working in teams. That's why we have basketball teams. That's why we have football teams. And those on my teams will be representative of me, and they will understand, and we will respond to you. So I appreciate that.
Listen, the famous saying is teamwork makes the dreams work. So with that being said, I want to give a thank you to Southern Style Barbecue, our team that has made this live tailgate. This is our last day. We are closing out our first interview today with candidate Beryl Thompson-McClary. It's been a pleasure. Is there any last words you want to shout out before we close out today?
Of course, vote for me.
All right, y'all heard it right here. Stay tuned. The tailgate continues. We'll be back.